So today we're going to talk about how our pelvis, how our lower body moves through the hit zone. Because if we get that wrong, we will never, ever be consistent, not really consistent in the golf game. We're going to have to rely on timing. We're going to have to rely on getting the exact right moment with the right flip at the right moment at the bottom of the golf swing. Hey guys, bit of a rainy day here in St. George, so I thought I'd take this chance to do a video I've been wanting to do for a while. This information is kind of built for better players, but it's still valid for anyone playing golf. First time I ever meet a student, almost all of them tell me they want to be more consistent. So consistency means I'm going to strike the ball. If it's on the ground, I'm going to strike the ball before the ground most of the time. Okay, I'm not going to hit it fat. I'm not going to blade it. Most of the time, I'm going to hit the ball first. That takes a descending blow to some level of every club you're going to hit off the ground. Fairway wood, not as much. Wedges, more. So if I can make good contact and my face angle, my club path is swinging, my body swinging more or less down the line. It can be inside out or outside in a few degrees, but not tons. And my face angle, this is the important part, about 80% of where you're going to end up is face angle. So if that face angle can be stable through this hit zone, if it cannot be moving right here, if it doesn't do this at this moment, if it moves this way and releases in front, I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be consistent with ball striking because I'm going to be coming down into the ball this way without extending early. And I'm going to be consistent with face angle because the face is going to move with my body. This is a younger player's issue generally, but when we're talking about it, there's been a lot of training ever since Tiger Woods about ground forces and people wanting to explode from the ground up, which is great if you understand what you're doing. So they're talking about moving and getting down in here, loading down, and then moving this way, and then getting a lot of upward force as you get there. But the key is when I get that upward force, it has to be rotational. It has to be somewhat horizontal, particularly with my lower body. It has to move. I can get my left leg very extended and I can push it, but it's got to be because my left hip is moving behind me and getting out of the way. It cannot be because I get here and I go up. So for every inch of me standing up here, this club has to extend to make up that difference. So some of them will see all this here, but some of them are way more subtle than that. So when you're talking about some really good players, if you're going to videotape yourself, here's what we're looking for. From face on, it's really easy to see. Okay, it's harder to see it down the line, but from face on, no matter what happens, when you're in this position, if you get to this position here, all you've got to do from here is clear that left hip. You can push up on it as long as it goes that way. It can't go vertical. You can't do that. So if I'm here and I can make that move, I'm going to end up staying down a little more with my upper body, my head and all that. That's going to show up. If I don't do that, I'm going to not only raise up here, so you're going to see the hips get taller and both legs extend, but you're also going to see the club throw early. It has to, because if I stay here and I extend like I want to out there, but I jump through that, I'm going to miss the golf ball that far. I have to cover that distance going up with extension. So guys who make that move, here's the problem. As I jump and move up, this is going to extend early. That's going to take my attack angle from being down into the ball to somewhat shallow and moving through here. So it's going to shallow out my attack angle. That means my occasional ground contact's not going to be as good as it should be. The other problem with it is as I do that, I want you to watch what happens here. As I move up and away from it, the face wants to start rotating here because my hands are getting active as I extend this. As I do this, my wrists start wanting to shut that face down. If I get there early, it's going to want to hook. If I get there on perfect time, I'm going to hit some good ones. And if I get there a little late, it's going to want to go out to the right. That's timing. If we're doing this through the hit zone, none of us are going to be as consistent as we want to be. If we're doing this through the hit zone, we're better. But I can't do both. I can't turn this way and jump, because if I do, I will miss the golf ball. So the symptoms are this. From down the line, you're going to see the waist go up and the hands extend sooner than they should. They should still be here. And from this direction, you're going to see the hips go this way, turn down, look pretty good to here, and then you're going to see this move up right at the bottom. Right at the bottom, there's going to be this move instead of this move. But this move from the ground force up, that's probably one of the things that's most misunderstood in golf. That force has to be horizontal in nature. It can be extending here and getting taller, but my hips stay rotational here. I feel this. There's a snap there, but I stay over the ball. Okay, guys, hey, I'm going to set this up now, and I'm going to illustrate what we've been talking about with two good players here. Adam Scott's on the right.
The guy on the left, I'm going to use his name, and I'm using him as an example for a couple of reasons. So I want to make sure that this is understood. I reached out to him. His name's Ben Hatton. He's a professional golfer, has a YouTube channel. He's a really good guy, puts out a lot of good content, but I know his goal is to play tour level golf. I want to be clear about this. I'm not trying to embarrass him. I'm not calling him out. He's a phenomenal player. I just think if he understands this part of his golf swing, he could make a massive difference. And I think it really illustrates what I'm talking about in this video. And I'm going to start out by showing you both swings full speed. And there's no way you're going to see a problem here. So we're going to use Adam Scott's here. Okay, now I'm going to show you Ben's swing on the left. And in full speed, there's no way you're going to see a problem with this. It looks fantastic. I mean, look at that swing. Okay, but now we're going to slow this down, and I'm going to show you this move that we've talked about and why it's creating inconsistencies in Ben's game. So we're going to go to the top for Adam Scott. Good position there. We'll take Ben to the top. Good position there. So both of them here at the top of the backswing, phenomenal. And we're going to go to the next move. I want you to watch. I'm going to put some lines in here. We're going to put lines on both of their hips, kind of in the middle of their belt buckle here. Do the same thing with Adam Scott. I'm doing right kind of down the middle of the belt in both places. And I'm going to put a line on the hat on both of them. So we're going to see what happens through the hit zone here. And first we're going to use Adam Scott, rotate through, and I want you to notice that he stays pretty even there. That line's still right in the middle of his belt, and his head's still down, even through this hit to about to here. Everything's staying down over the golf ball. Now we're going to watch Ben come into the ball, and you already see that vertical move here. So he's opening up here, but then he moves vertical. Nothing else moves open anymore. There's no more rotation. It's all vertical. Vertical, vertical, vertical. So he goes into the ball with some good rotation, and right at the last minute goes straight up. As he goes up, that shows up with his early extension. From face on, it's way easier to see. But down the line, you can still see how much higher his hips are moving and his body's moving. Look where his hat is in this thing. So we're only talking about an inch or two, but an inch or two means he's got to extend an inch or two with his wrist so that he's still going to hit the ground. And that's enough to create quite a bit of inconsistency for all of us, but particularly at a level that Ben's playing at. So we go there, he comes back. You can see actually he actually gets tall and then falls back down into it right there. And Adam Scott stays neutral and then pushes up. So Adam Scott gets extended well after he hits the ball. Ben is getting it right in the middle of that move. Okay, now I'm going to do another one. Face on. In Tiger's case with a driver, this is the only one I could get with Ben, and it's a 3-wood, probably off a tee, but it doesn't matter. You're going to see the same thing. So we're going to go to the top of the backswing with Ben. Good move here. Really good position. Big rotation. He's a big, strong guy. We had Tiger here. Look at these positions. They look very, very similar here. They're both going to move down here. You're going to see Tiger drop down in, getting ready to hit. You're going to see Ben drop down, getting ready to hit. Everything looks really good here as we start coming into the ball, but I want to watch from about right here on both golf swings. Let's get this where we're in about the same position right here. It's a little bit easier if I show you the motion here. So I'm going to take Tiger and go from where he is here just about out this other direction. So we're going to watch pretty much from about here to here on the swing, and I want you to watch what both of these guys do and how much more vertical you see Ben move through this. So we go here, Tiger goes in. Everything looks pretty rotational here. He's still getting ground force, but he's pushing his hip behind him to get it. So as we get through here, I want you to watch Ben move almost vertical. Look at how much he's extending here, getting vertical through the golf shot. So because he's moving away physically from the ball, he's having to extend the club farther so that he can get back to the ground with the club. So all that extension versus that rotation.
Early extension happens for a myriad of reasons, but you can fix it if you understand your problem. And this one we're talking about today is specific to a lot of good players who think they need to jump from the ground up. Okay, guys. Hey, as always, let's go to work.